why are you interested in cryptocurrency? Is it just a financial investment, or is there a philosophy that attracts you to it?
Philosophy. So my friend told me about it in 2017. My friend met me in Shanghai. I fought in ONE Championship. And he told me, and the second he told me, I'm like, oh, I'm so in. Because I had read Ron Paul and the Fed. I kind of had an understanding how the Fed is unfair. And so when he told me about crypto, this decentralized system that no one has control over, it just made sense. And so like we've had the podcast, we had Michael Saylor on it, and I love the way he says it's like, who do you trust more with your money? Do you trust the politicians or do you trust engineers? I think that's an easy choice. I don't even think I have to think about that. I don't trust politicians, no matter what country they come from, China, America, wherever. I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
So
what about in 2017? What was it? Bitcoin? Mm-hmm. Are you? What do you find? Which ones do you find interesting?
Yeah,
there's all kinds of ideas. So there's the more sort of primal mechanism of proof of work and Bitcoin. And then there's smart contracts ideas, and there's all kinds of innovations across the different.
So I can't say I'm in super deep where I understand the technical components of a lot of them. I understand what Bitcoin can do for people, and so that's probably the one I focused the most on. And I was trying to convince Michael to talk about Bitcoin because he hates it also when we did it last night. And I think most of the main problems Bitcoin solves, people in America are so American-centric, they don't understand it. So like high levels of inflation, that hasn't happened it's starting to happen. It hasn't happened in America in a long time, right? But someone in Venezuela is like, oh, I get that, or remittance payments, right? Remittance payments you see it. So I saw this in when I was spending all the time in Singapore. Singapore is obviously a really wealthy country. And so you'd have Indonesian workers or Filipino workers, and they would all go on Sundays. They would go to these places to ship stuff back to their families. And through Western Union gouges the shit out of these people. I mean, they're taking 8, 10, 12% of whatever they're sending. Then it takes 5 days and the person's going to go pick it up. Whereas Bitcoin, I could send you Bitcoin person to person, right? So like American people don't understand that. American people don't really understand the unbanked, right? A decent portion of the world is unbanked. They don't have access to it. And a much, much, much smaller portion of the world doesn't have access to internet. So if I can put a mobile wallet on your phone and we can send money person to person. So there's a whole bunch of those problems where Americans don't really think about that are really obvious that this solves. So I think that's the key one. Obviously, the fact that the value goes up is really outstanding also. But if you look at it, I got in 2017, so I got to watch it go up. I didn't sell shit at the top, really stupid. And then the majority of my time was spent through the bear market. And so I had to love it for the principles that it provided, not the fact that I actually lost money in the beginning and now I'm way up. But so
you're just holding.
Just holding. I think at the top of this bull market, I'll probably sell a very small portion.
You mean like right now there's a bull market?
Yeah, most people think, say, in the next 3 to 6 months will be the top of the market. Okay. And so probably when that happens, I'll probably sell a little bit.
You gotta hodl it, Ben.
You gotta hodl. Well, yeah. And so I don't. Here's what I am. So one of my podcast co-hosts, he's like super rich, like uber rich. So he has lost touch with the everyman. Yeah. So here's my argument to him. It's really simple. And listen, I'm doing well for myself in life, but if, say, someone buys a Bitcoin, right, one Bitcoin at $5,000, which it was last year, and this Bitcoin goes from $5,000 to $200,000, which is right around what a lot of people think the peak is going to be. And they bought one Bitcoin, and they're living in a $200,000 house. So to take half of that, right, you started with $5,000 of the Bitcoin, to sell half a Bitcoin for $100,000 and pay off your house, your remaining house payment, that's life-changing to someone. Yeah. It really is. And so you still have a Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, you're still going to have $500,000, and you're going to feel really, really rich with that $500,000 because you bought it for effing $2,500, Yeah. So I would encourage anyone who's not uber rich to, if you have huge profits, take a little bit of them because it could change your life.
And if you hold it and it goes down, you're going to feel the pain of that. Sometimes if you're more constrained financially, it's much more psychologically difficult to ride the ups and downs.
Yeah, it is for sure. So they have this really fascinating things in Bitcoin. Actually, we said the guy on one of the main guys on our podcast. It's called on-chain metrics.
Mm-hmm.
So all wallet transactions are visible, and so they have all these fun categories. So I think you said you don't like numbers, but
I like numbers.
Oh,
I
you
like
love
numbers.
numbers.
I love
so
numbers.
I love numbers also. So they have all these different categories. Like you can see how long a wallet has held a Bitcoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or how many Bitcoins are in a certain wallet. And so what they've seen during the downturn, right? So April, it kind of peaked and went down, is that the whales are still buying. So whales, people with 1,000 or more, are still buying. Mm-hmm. They've said the main group of sellers is the ones who held it from 0 to 3 months. Mm-hmm. So like they don't have money. They bought it because they thought it was going up. And I was like, oh shit, I got to sell it. Right. Whereas anyone who's held it for a long time is generally still holding on.